I've been telling you this week that some prominent Republican players are turning on Donald Trump, not over the Ukraine fiasco, mind you, but over the Syria and Kurd fiasco that we've been talking about. And as we covered earlier this week, Donald Trump has pulled troops from northern Syria, despite everyone from many Republicans all the way to Noam Chomsky agreeing that this is a very bad idea to do, that Turkey will immediately attack the Kurds if Donald Trump does that. Trump did it, and immediately Turkey attacked Kurdish forces in northern Syria. And now you've got Moscow Mitch McConnell, who's not pleased. You've got Loony Lindsey Graham, who's not pleased. And Loony Lindsey is making his displeasure known. But we need to do the political analysis as well here. Very rarely does Loony Lindsey go against Donald Trump in a serious manner. And here he is doing it, tweeting yesterday, quote, "Pray for our Kurdish allies who have been shamelessly abandoned by the Trump administration. This move ensures the reemergence of ISIS." Now, Loony Lindsey happens to be right on this particular issue, narrowly interpreted. Remember when Lindsey Graham said that Republicans would get destroyed if they nominated Trump? This was back in 2016 when Lindsey tweeted, "If we nominate Trump, we will get destroyed and we will deserve it." Well, he happened to be wrong. Donald Trump won. But just a reminder that Lindsey Graham is merely a guy who calculates the political space that he is staking out. So while Lindsey Graham happens to be correct about the Kurds and Trump's decision to abandon them, he's found something to criticize Donald Trump over. But remember that just months ago at the Brett Kavanaugh hearings, Loony Lindsey delivered what is maybe the most unhinged confirmation hearing speech that I have ever seen from a senator on these confirmation hearing panels. Do you remember this? And please, I'm going to give you a few moments. Get the kids out of the room. This is not what I would want my children seeing if I had children. Loony Lindsey, and maybe the most unhinged confirmation hearing speech in the history of American politics.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsey said hello, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Are you a gang rapist? No.
There's a guy who's making sense, right? So listen, I have no praise for Graham. He is a flip-flopper, put my finger to the wind and see what will get me some kind of attention type of guy. He will sometimes come to conclusions that sound logical or they sound remotely sane. And then the next day, he will take some outrageous position that is the exact opposite of logical and sane. And case in point, yesterday, Lindsey Graham attacks Donald Trump because clearly Donald Trump's actions are wrong to him. And then he's at the same time, the day before, he was fighting against the constitutional, enshrined by the law, impeachment inquiry into Donald Trump. He's a disgrace. And in fact, as I mentioned earlier in the show, this may all be calculated in order to either distract from the impeachment inquiry, to set himself up to claim impartiality on the impeachment inquiry, because there could be a broader plan here. Trump doesn't have the ability to do non-concrete, multidimensional thinking. Trump can't do it. Lindsey Graham is capable of that. And so there may be a calculation here that Lindsey Graham is saying, listen, I want to oppose Trump's impeachment as strongly as possible. And the way to do that without appearing like a mere reflexive partisan hack, which he is, would be to criticize Trump somewhere, but then to come around and say, listen, I've been as critical of Trump as the next person. When Trump abandoned the Kurds, I criticized him. But the impeachment inquiry is unconstitutional and it must end. I would not put it past Lindsey Graham to be thinking in that way and to be calculating along those lines, because in the end, he's disgusting. And we'd be much better off if someone could defeat him in South Carolina and get him out of the Senate And he, in the end, is still a participant in as strongly as possibly maintaining the Trumpian status quo. Even though he says he disagrees with Trump on this, Lindsey Graham's broader positioning as a brown-nosing sycophant of Donald Trump's, who defends the idea of Trump as president as anything other than a national atrocity, that has not changed. And until I see evidence that it has changed, Loony Lindsey is just doing what he always does, which is putting his finger to the wind, figuring out how he can make a statement or make a political calculation that will get him more attention, that will get him more airtime or time with the president or time in the media or whatever. That's all that's going on here. This weekend, okay, we are doing a massive David Pakman Show membership drive. It's going to be a one-day membership drive. We haven't done this for like a year. We are blowing out membership, okay? Massive, massive membership discount. If you've been thinking about supporting the program, this weekend you will have the best opportunity of the year to do it at the lowest rate. If you want to be notified about this extraordinary membership discount, sign up for our newsletter on our website, davidpakman.com. Very clear spot there. You can get our newsletter. This weekend, you will get an email, and it will be a beautiful thing for everybody who chooses to participate. Let me know your thoughts about Loony Lindsey on Twitter @dpakman. While you're there, follow the show @David Pakman Show. We'll take a quick break. Very, very much news to discuss today with you. Due cappucci, per favore. Grazie mille. One of our sponsors making the David Pakman Show possible is Babbel, the language learning app, and you'll get 25% off a subscription to Babbel when you click the link under this video. Babbel was founded in 2007 and now has over 1 million paying subscribers worldwide as one of the world's leading language learning apps. Their learning method has been examined numerous times in scientific studies, including one at Yale in 2019, which found that 100% of participants who used Babbel were able to improve their oral proficiency with a new language within just 3 months. Research found that users learning Spanish on Babbel only needed to use the app for an average of 15 hours over a 2-month period to cover the requirements for one college semester of Spanish. I recently went to Italy and used Babbel to brush up on my Italian for a few weeks leading up to the trip. And I was actually surprised at how much I was able to absorb in such a short amount of time. After practicing Italian on the Babbel app, I was able to hold some conversations with locals in Italy. I could understand a lot more of the Italian that I was hearing. And the progress I made was extremely inspiring in keeping me going and continuing to use the app to get even better. I'm also about to use the app to start learning German, which I'm looking forward to. I really would recommend Babbel to anyone who watches our show, and you can save 25% on a subscription to Babbel when you click the link right underneath this video.